Hi guys, I'm Roger Knowles and welcome back to Always Games TV. And in this video we're going to be taking you through the extended Uncharted 4 A Thief's End trailer which was shown at E3. Now, the shown trailer was shown during the Sony conference at E3 and the extended trailer was actually shown on the show floor, and Naughty Dog have just released the extended trailer now online. So I'm joined by the wonderful Tom Stinson once again.
Good evening.
How are you all?
Good, thank you, yeah.
Going from what we saw on the last video we did, and if you want to watch that, just click on the thumbnail right now. You've never experienced Uncharted before, but very briefly experienced Uncharted, but you said you were really impressed by the footage that was shown at that point.
It looks very good, yeah.
Yeah. As you can see, when we went through it, it showed Victor Sullivan and Nathan Drake coming out of some form of maybe temple and going through a bit of a crowd and then getting very suddenly attacked with a armoured Jeep truck machine gun thing.
Yes.
Yes. So it kind of got through that. A lot of big action sequence. They jumped in a Jeep, drove down the hill through different streets, then a bit more driving.
Yeah, and then I got to, it was like an underpass, and there was a truck with a crane that hit one of the signs, and the crane swung out, and then he grappled onto it, and then the trailer ended just as he was about to hit it was like wooden scaffolding.
Scaffolding, yeah, which was like over the river, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I think they were chasing Nathan Drake's brother, Sam.
Yeah.
And for some reason, obviously we don't know at this present moment due to, obviously they're not telling us the story, Sam's been chased by some mercenaries of some sort, and Victor and Nathan are trying to catch up to help save him. So that's basically where we're going to pick it up from. We're not going to take you through all the previous stuff. Now, there is an ever so slightly different route that he takes in the earlier sections, but it's only very minute. It wasn't really a major difference. So it's not the same gameplay trailer that was shown on the E3 conference. This is actually somebody else playing it. So they did take an ever so slightly different route. But anyway, if you want to check it out, click in the link in the description below. So I've left an actual direct link so you can actually watch the full trailer in its full entirety. So without further ado, let's crack on and start watching. So as I said, this pretty much continues off from when the point he goes through the scaffolding. As you pointed out, he does have a hell of a throwing arm.
Yeah. This is the end of the previous trailer.
Yeah, and they're kicking straight in with it now. Every point is that you just can't believe the situations he gets himself into. You're like, yeah.
He's a bit like, well, you mentioned to me earlier, he's a bit like Indiana Jones. Yeah,
I think do get the indie sort of feel, don't you?
Very adventurous type, like Lara Croft.
Yeah, I think also like it almost in one of the Indiana Jones films, in the first one actually, the Search of the which one's the name of it? I'm going to totally butcher this now. No. Oh no! I can't believe I can't remember. Indiana Jones and the Search for the something or other golden cage thingy. Anyway,
golden what?
He gets the crate ark
Ark of Truth, is it?
No.
I know what it is. It's like the Pandora's box.
Yeah. Anyway,
the Lost Ark.
Lost Ark, Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah,
there we go. We finally got that. Anyway, back to the video game. He actually does a sing like that. He's getting pulled along by the truck. I just want to point out as well that the UI of the game is very, very minimal. It only really shows up the gun and the ammunition when he's actually firing or when he switches weapon. It's very similar to the previous Uncharted games.
It's I'd call it an immersive UI, so it only shows what you need.
Yeah, it's like there's nothing there that you don't need. Like there's no health bar. You judge the health of Nathan by simply looking at the screen. As you get more shot, you'll appear like little red patches will appear on the side of the screen, and if you get really hurt, the screen actually starts to lose its colour.
Yeah.
And become more black and white. It doesn't go fully black and white, but it starts to lose its full tone. There is a lot of mercenaries.
Not only that, but this whole driving sequence is so incredibly detailed.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of this you'll just fly by and you won't really notice it, but
it's
so
a gorgeous looking
yeah.
game. They've added so much detail to every aspect of it.
Then again, we don't know what the final game will look like. This could just be spruced up for the stage demo.
Well,
I
very
hope
true.
it's not.
Like you see, this is still a 2016 game, so we've still got to wait till next year to see it, to get our hands on this.
Yeah. Luckily, the Uncharted collection will be out in, was it September?
I believe it's October.
October. Towards the end of the year. So,
As you see, the interaction between his brother and him, you can see the sort of similarities between them saying the same lines. I think it's great. Oh, that's going to hurt. Great sort of interaction between Nathan Drake and Sam, but also between Troy Baker and Nolan North. Great to see them both actually like working alongside it properly. I know they were in the middle of Shadow of Mordor together, but only very briefly.
it's cool. It's really cool. Look how covered he is in all that mud.
It's so I love the camera angle as well here because it really pulls you in to the scene. And you can say a scene. It is like a movie. You feel like you're watching a film.
Yeah, I mean
The intensity and the like. You really feel like the worry for him because he's in a lot of trouble right now. Just little movements as he's knocking things in the cab of the Jeep. True Hollywood action style. As you can see, actually, he got shot a few times there. You could see the screen going a little bit pale, like I said.
and there's that pesky gun truck that just won't.
But I also want to point out, like, the point of when the cinematic finishes to the point when the gameplay starts. There's such a smooth transition between the two. It is just seamless. I do hope at some point during the game you have a chance to breathe.
I'm sure you will. All the barrels and wood splinters just going all over the place.
They're really taking it to the next stage with the next gen console on this one. And much of the previous games had a lot of action going on. There's so much happening on screen.
I mean, this is definitely PlayStation 4 gameplay, isn't it?
Yeah, this game, the PlayStation 4, yeah.
It looks far too smooth.
What are you trying to say, Tom?
Nothing.
But yeah, the Uncharted 4 Thief's End, it will be running at 1080p and 30 frames per second, whereas the Drake Collection, which will be coming out in October, will be 1080p and 60 frames per second with added texture enhancements, which is quite cool.
I'm guessing because that was it looked more like a movie sequence. That might be why it was so smooth.
Most probably, like you said earlier about it being done for presentation. They've probably spent hours and hours and hours just into that 15 minutes than they have done for a lot of other things.
At this point, we get to find out a little more about the story and about what you're going to be doing.
So, yeah, actually, that's a really good point. If you don't want any spoilers, actually, for the game, it might be worth just switching off now. But if you want to find out, they don't give too much away. But if you want to go in clean for Uncharted and not hear any story, then it might be worth just to stop now. So if you are, thank you for watching. But we're going to keep going anyway. As you can see, the notebook comes back from the previous Uncharted games when Drake takes all his notes, and that you can actually get his notebook out in the actual gameplay as well, and check back, and you can use that notebook to actually solve puzzles and check on previous things that he's done, and little cuttings he'll put in it as well.
Has he got a bit of grey coming along there?
Actually, yeah, it does look like he's got a little bit coming along. Can't tell if that's... Oh, no, yeah, a little bit there on the temples. He'll be catching Victor Sullivan up soon. I just want to say Victor Sullivan looks really old in this game. Whether or not it's just the enhanced textures of the face or what, but he's really starting to look old now.
I must admit, that's some of the best faces I've seen in video games, and lip sync and the movements and animations around the mouth, it's really good.
Really shows off some emotion, doesn't it? And
yeah. A bit like L.A. Noire.
yeah. But doesn't look out of place, where I found with Ellen Wed, kind of looked a little bit out of place with the face, didn't it? Whereas everything else looked a little bit downgraded. This looks all perfectly seamless.
That treasure is as good as ours. Shit.
Yep.
He's in trouble.
How's the Malaysia job going, Nate? Seems like you're a hair off course.
Oh dear. So, as you can see, it'll be coming out in 2016, and Elena will be making a reappearance into the Uncharted games. And he's in big trouble. Yeah, I don't think he's told her that he's gone off to go find some more treasure.
If you looked at her eyes right at the end there, she looked really upset.
Really, really hurt. Obviously, from the spoiler thing, like I said, we will probably explain a couple of the spoiler points, or at least I will be. Tom, you haven't experienced them, but forewarning, if you haven't played the previous games, switch off now. Elena is the woman that you meet in the first game, and she's a reporter. And in the second game, she appears in that as well. And you sort of split apart, and you get back together in the second one. And in the third one, you've actually got married at this point, and then you've split again. You have a little bit of a rough relationship with her. It's always a bit rocky. Well, it looks like they've settled down, except that Drake doesn't seem to have given up his treasure hunting ways and not really told her. Yeah. He's in trouble. Anyway, so what is your honest opinion? Obviously, like I said before, Tom, you're coming into this franchise fresh on the PlayStation 4. What are your feelings towards it at this present moment?
I'm looking forward to having another fully single-player story-driven game. A lot of the games coming out now are, multiplayer, and there's not as much story in them, and I kind of do miss a lot of that.
You like that element of just kind of switch yourself off from the rest of the world and just delve yourself in, a bit like a book.
It's like a book or an interactive film, and I don't know. It feels like you're getting more out of it rather than.
What I'm actually looking forward to is actually, like you said, with the more the story element of it and pulling yourself in and not forcing like this multiplayer down your throat, like you say. But also, I like the idea of it not being open world. It is a little bit more open, but it's not like because there seems to be so many open world games coming out at this present moment, such as your Witcher 3, your Batman Arkham Knight. You've got Metal Gear Solid, which has now become more of an open world situation. There's just so many, and then we've got Assassin's Creed as well.
I suppose in a way it's a little bit like The Order 1866.
1886.
86, sorry.
Nearly that.
Recently played that, and I must admit
that also was a good year.
That was very good.
I was to say the only criticism that game got with that, it was short, but it was a nice linear story.
I don't really care. I really enjoyed that. It was very good.
It was. I'm presently actually halfway through it. I've just recently picked it up, and yeah, it's nice having that refresh of a change a little bit. Like I said, we just have so much multiplayer pushed at us, and I think there was multiplayer in the previous Uncharted games, but that was like a subsection of the game, and you didn't even need to touch it if you didn't wish to. So having this just purely there as like you said, an interactive story, I'm quite looking forward to that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few coming out actually, isn't there? There's the Uncharted 4, Fallout 4. There's the new Tomb Raider coming out. We've got.
But the problem is with Fallout 4 again, it's very much an open world.
It's
too much.
I think that suits that kind of game.
Well, every game which is created have its own positive and negative.
I don't think Fallout would work as a
linear,
on the rails. Linear,
yeah, I do know what you mean. I think that's one of the, obviously with Fallout, the elements of that game that really sort of pull it through is that, the open worldness, it works for that. Whereas with Uncharted, it's just nice to know that you can sit in and the story is not told to you because you're experiencing it, but it's just there to sort of, it's just, just there. It's like a book. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end.
They should totally turn that into a Telltale game.
I'd play that quite happily. I would play an Uncharted Telltale version.
I meant the Fallout, but yeah, that too.
Okay, the Fallout as well. Actually, no, Telltale could literally get hold of any franchise, and I'd be happy with Star Wars.
Aren't they doing a Minecraft one?
They are doing a Minecraft one.
I don't really understand how that's going to work. I mean, there's this Steve. Is he going to be like walking around talking to chickens and stuff?
Yeah, or me, where I'm just stood there building a house and mine's really, really tiny, and I walk out and you built a massive tower which is reaching the clouds.
It's like made out of sand.
Yeah. We're getting a little bit off topic now, actually. Thank you so much for watching this Uncharted 4 trailer. That was a full extended trailer which was shown at the E3, E3 on the show floor. Thank you so much for watching. Tom, thank you so much for joining me.
No problem at all.
And you will hear us, hopefully, in the next Always Games TV news, trailer, video, watching, talk through, vid.
Update!
Yay! Thanks, guys.
See ya.